So, I want to talk about something real quick, and that's the fact that, like, once I made the leap, the jump to, like, bet on myself, go all in on my businesses, progress doesn't happen overnight, but I feel like I'm getting so much more opportunity, better opportunities. Like, I'm clear about what I want, who I want to work with, what my expectations are, and I have people that, are the same. And that's amazing. I'm so thankful for that. But it's so funny because before I made this jump, like I was applying for other jobs and, was so used to like the matrix concept of like security. And truthfully, like I feel like after a certain point, like security is kind of an illusion that we cling to very hard. Because one thing, I dated this guy once, and this was years ago. One thing he said really stuck with me, and it was, I'm never going to give somebody else the opportunity to take away or to put money in my pocket. In the sense of like being reliant on like someone else for a paycheck. And I just was like, wow. I still think about that to this day, and I was like, if that ain't the realest shit. It's funny, I kept applying for other jobs and like nothing, I wasn't hearing back. And I finally got to a point where I knew Spirit was like, you made the leap, now make it work. And that's just what happens when you timeline jump. It's just what happens. And like, I finally got like, it wasn't, at first I was like, did I fuck up? It's gonna feel like that. But sometimes you've got options around you that you hadn't previously considered. And that's exactly what I realized. And I still am able to be reliant on myself, and I'm learning more things every day, and I'm meeting cool people every day. And like I said, like things are not 100% exactly where I want them yet, but I kept the faith, and every week, every day, every hour, every second, every minute, they're getting better. This person had said to me, I don't think you'd be able to handle the stress that comes with the ambiguity of not having a backup plan, like an established job, put it that way, like a 9 to 5. We'll say 9 to 5, but like just like another job, like working for somebody else. And honestly, like normally I've tried to get to the point in my life where I'm like, fuck you, but like that really like threw fuel onto the fire in a way. And it also, like, I feel like every time you level up your baseline for like your emotional regulation goes up a notch in a sense, and like your ability to and your capacity to take on more also elevates. And I am definitely noticing this in how I am day to day, and what I'm able to hold and take on and juggle. And I don't know, I just was looking back recently and was like, I smell cigarette smoke. Someone's around. And I'm tasting cigarette smoke. That's crazy. Weird. This happens to me a lot. So anyway, and I just, it's so funny because sometimes people will say things that will activate us, and a lot of it, funny enough, is their own projections. And I also find that people are so quick to speak on certain situations that in the reality of it, they don't know anything about being in that position, you know? And I look back now, and this was just a few months ago. You know, I'm not exactly where I want to be. My life is not perfect, but I'm showing up every day. I'm keeping the faith. I'm keeping the gratitude even when I'm pissed off or, you know, I'm busy, because this is what I want to be doing. Like, I feel so in alignment. I'm clearing, I guess. I'm about to burp. I feel so in alignment now that I'm serving humanity in a way that feels good to me. And I'm not listening to rules that are outdated and don't make sense. And I am also increasing my capacity, like I said before. And I think that that's such a beautiful thing and a commendable thing. And there's going to be people that activate you or say things. I just saw 333. Or say things, you know, that might, I don't know if it's like trigger you. I definitely felt activated. I don't know if I felt triggered, but in a way, I guess. But now I just look back and it's like, it's so funny because you get to a certain point when it's like you think when you're finally there, you're gonna feel like, like, now look at me. And like, to an extent, yeah, but I feel like once you're in that place, like, you got so much going on that it's like, whatever, wish you the best. You know what I mean? Like, if you only knew. And life is just a funny thing. And it's so funny, too, because I always said, I always kind of said that. Or, there's a song, I feel like this is a channeled message that some people need to see. There's a song, Wanted, with a question mark, by Jesse Rutherford. Could put it on, and the lyrics go, even if I get what I wanted, would I even know that I got it? Because especially if you're one of those people, if you know, if you just always keep raising the bar, one of the things I'm really being intentional about, because I've always been like that, is every once in a while, stop and celebrate. Even if it's just a day away somewhere, or if I can't put my whole life on hold for a couple weeks to go on vacation, stop and relax. And like I said, do things that bring you joy and that make you fall into rest and receiving mode, because we still need to put ourselves in balance. We can't be constantly hustling. That's a big part of it, in whatever way you have found works for you in your business. But at the same time, we also have to put ourselves in our feminine energy, so we have energy to create, so we can create space for the things that we're trying to manifest to come in. And also, sorry, give me 1 second. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, also just, because we need both. We need both to succeed. And also, I think as a reminder that we are always worthy. Because listen, there's going to be a big shift. And it's going to be that none of us have to be hyper masculine anymore to bring in success. Do we have to work for it? Yes, absolutely. But there is going to be something to be said in allowing ourselves to rest when our body and our mind and our spirit is screaming at us, instead of just burning ourselves out over and over and over and over again. That's one of the biggest keys to manifestation. And you'll know. You'll know. And you'll see, or I don't know if I've posted about this. I think I have. When you guys feel like you're getting emotional and you need to like release something spiritual that's been coming up, and you finally have that good cry, and then all of a sudden you get that message, or you sign that deal, or you have energy to do the things you've been putting off. That's not a coincidence, bro. You're moving through something and you're leveling up. So I love you guys, and I will see you later. Comment down below your experience with these things.